My 4-year-old son told me my wife's affair partner's car in my driveway right now. Wife nearly fainted when she saw me and in-laws towing the car away. My ex and I were married for 12 years, and we have a son together. I thought everything in our relationship was fine until something happened a few months ago. On the record, I work in accounting and I work fairly normal hours. Occasionally, I'll do overtime if it's needed. On the weekends, I love to spend time at home and with our son. He's 4 and really likes cars. Last weekend, when I took my son with me to the supermarket, he told me he really likes this red car. I didn't think much of it because he usually points this stuff out. But while we were in the parking lot, I saw a blue version of the car and asked him if he liked that one too. He said no. I asked why, and he said he didn't know. Typical child's behavior, but okay. I just thought it was strange because my wife doesn't have a red car and nobody in my family has a red car. When I got home, I asked her about it, and she froze up for a second and asked me to repeat myself. I didn't know it then, but she was trying to come up with a lie on the spot. She told me that one of her girlfriends came over to pick up something. I asked if it was a red car and her face got pale. Then she got mad at me for asking so many questions. I left the problem alone for a few days, but something about it kept bugging me. I couldn't believe what could be happening. So I decided to drive by my place every day next week just to check things out. On Thursday, what do I see? A red Charger parked in my driveway. I sat in my car, shocked, just trying to process what I was seeing. I was trying to rationalize or come up with every excuse with her. Maybe her brother got a new car. Or maybe one of her girlfriends really is stopping by. Or maybe she made a new friend. Or maybe it's one of my friends with a new car just waiting for me to get home. In the middle of my breakdown, the door opened. I was a few houses down, but I did see a man leave my house, and it didn't look like one of her family either. At that moment, I had a feeling my marriage was over. I didn't go back to work that day. I stayed in the car and drove around until I was supposed to get home. I came Friday and I played along and acted like I was going to work. And I waited in the same spot I was in yesterday. I gave her one more chance. If I didn't see the car, I would ask her about it. And if I did, I had a plan for that too. Unfortunately, I did see the car and he was going to get a piece of my wrath. While they were in the house, I called a towing company. I told them somebody parked in my driveway. Then I called her parents. In 20 minutes, the tow truck came and towed his car to their lot. Around 10 minutes later, he leaves the house and sees that his car is gone. The dumbass looks down the street for it too. Then he goes back inside to get her. Now they're both outside and her parents come along. Here comes my entrance. I slammed my foot on the gas so everybody can hear me coming down the block. I pulled into my driveway. I told her I knew what was going on. She started crying and my son came outside. I told that piece of shit guy she was with to leave and go find his piece of shit car. I told her parents that she had been cheating on me with him for I don't know how long. Her mother seemed to be the most pissed off at her. They were trying to calm me down, but it took my son with me, and we went for a drive. Update. It's the beginning of a month now, and me and my ex are divorced. I let her come by to interact with my son during her week because she doesn't have a place of her own yet. Turns out that the dude she was with was a felon. The dude went to jail for beating his ex, and her dumb ass thought it was a good idea to cheat with him. When the judge heard about it, her case fell apart, and I got lucky with 50% custody. But that wasn't enough for me. We had a nice family, a nice home, and a nice car. Well, after all that chaos, I needed something new to drive. A few weeks after the divorce, I got me a red car, a brand new Charger. And now every time she comes to my home, she has to walk past the car that I bought. Back to the exact same spot as that convict's car that I towed. Every time she wants to see her son, she's going to get a reminder of what destroyed her life. And to top it off, last week my new girlfriend answered the door. The look on her face was priceless. I'm writing this because the last text she sent me, she was begging for another chance. She let some other man try to take over everything that I had. Not a chance. I took everything that she was trying to build and I made it mine. Second cheating story. Yesterday was supposed to be my 22 male wedding day. I was going to get married to my girlfriend's 21 of 5 years. But she decided to F a stripper at her bachelorette party, so I decided to F her sister. Everything was going great. I was with my brothers at the party. My best friend got us into a VIP lounge at the club, and we got drinks and everything. I end up getting a call from my girlfriend saying she loves me. A random call at 2 in the morning like that is hella sus. Then I got a call from her sister asking to meet me at her hotel because she has to tell me something. I thought something bad happened or she got arrested. Come to find out she was drinking with her girls, and she ended up going into another room with one of her strippers. Her sister told me that when she found her, they were putting clothes back on. I'm pissed, and I'm going to go to the club to fight the guy, but drunk me had a better idea. I knew her sister was always trying to steal a look at me. Sometimes she would look a little bit too long, but I was in a relationship. I wasn't about to cheat or anything, but now I'm a free man. I asked her if she wanted to come back to my room since I needed a drink and didn't want to drink alone. She hesitated but came back with me. On the way upstairs, I knew she was mine. When we got to the room, we had a few drinks, and she said that she'd be sad since I wouldn't be around anymore. I moved closer to her and made my move. Now here's where it gets interesting. My girlfriend and I were staying in that room together, so an hour later she walks in on me and her sister in bed going at it. She's screaming and throwing shit, then she storms out. Meanwhile, I get up and lock the door, and me and her sister finish our business together. The next morning, we wake up banging on our door. She takes her time getting her stuff off the floor, and I open the door for her. There she is, my wife-to-be. The mascara ruined, still wearing her club dress from last night, bags under her eyes. Just watching her sister prance right by her. She looked back at me and followed after her sister, and I shut the door right in her face. Not my problem anymore, bitch. I heard some yelling in the hallway, but I went right back to sleep. I had a few messages from my family asking if I was okay and where I was. I had more messages from her family saying I'm a monster. I should have replied to them saying her sister was a monster in bed last night. I stayed in bed most of the day thinking about what just happened. Because things happened very fast, and I didn't expect such a change so quickly. That night when I got out of the shower, I saw my girlfriend there. She caught me off guard because I didn't think she still had the key. She argued with me over what happened, and I was about to just kick her out. But drunk me had an even better idea. I apologized to her. I begged her to take me back. I blamed everything on her sister. I mean, she saw how her sister looked at me. She probably even lied about what happened at the party. We hugged, then we kissed, then we had sex. And then when we were finished, I went to my car and drove back to my apartment. I packed her shit, put it in a trash bag, and threw it on the curb. I texted her to pick up her garbage and blocked her number. I woke up today with a message from her sister. Apparently, after her sister left my room, she and my girlfriend had an argument. And the sister ended up telling their family that my girlfriend cheated on me last night. So when everybody was in the lobby, all dressed up, waiting to go to church, they were screaming until somebody threatened to call the cops. I'm still in contact with her sister, though. And drunk me might have an even better idea tonight. Last cheating story. Hello, I've been a lurker here for a little, while trying to process infidelity in my life. Long story short, my wife and I have been married 8 years, together a few years longer total, and have 2 small kids. This year has been tough, but we've had our arguments, but nothing that I would ever think would push my wife to cheat. Anyways, I noticed her lately being distant and being uncommunicative and decided to confront one evening. At that time, she said she was not happy and couldn't feel a spark anymore. At first, I freaked out on myself thinking I was being an inattentive husband, truthfully an issue. However, the next day I caught a very strange message on her phone that was extremely lovey-dovey. I took a look and then found my wife was messaging a man for a long time with lots of I love yous and plans for a future together. Effing destroyed. Anyways, taking the advice of the many threads on here, I didn't confront initially. I actually read as much as I could, contacted a couple lawyers for advice, one now on retainer, and got my head on straight and calm. I confronted my wife a couple days ago and calmly asked if she was having an affair, and after a couple minutes she admitted everything. Long story short, it's been going on for 6 months, and she claims it's the deepest emotional connection ever. Complete bullshit, but whatever. To end it all, I gave my list of boundaries, cut off contact, MC, etc. The thing that I think is the final nail of an honest attempt to reconcile is that she got extremely aggravated with cutting off contact, especially when I told her to do it in front of me, and even insisted to see him one last time for closure. I effing held my ground and told her if he's so important, pack a bag and go live with him. To which she backed off, but not before she told me I was a controlling asshole. Anyway, she sent a text this morning and showed me, but my spidey senses seem to think she'll try a different means of communication. I'm thinking there's no hope, and honestly I don't want it at this point. But I just wanted to be able to tell my kids in 20 years that I at least tried. We have MC tomorrow, but I'm thinking it's time to file before wasting any time or grief. I'm cautious to move too fast because of my kids, but is this the right way to do it? Let's see some top comments. Pack a bag and go live with him. That's gold. It's funny that if he's the deepest emotional connection ever, then why did she balk when you told her to go to him? That tells me he's trying to sleep with her, but would never actually want to be with her, and a little part of her knows that deep down. Call her bluff and get serious about the divorce. I bet she crumbles. Sorry you have to go through this, Opie. It honestly is great to see someone not be a doormat in this situation. Honestly, good on you for playing it smart. It will suck, but keep that rage on red hot. Don't let it cool down because you're keeping your head in the game. You will thank yourself later for this. Your kids will also once they're capable of understanding. I would actually consider keeping the evidence locked away in case she ever tries telling the children a different story so they can see it with their own eyes. Probably too extreme and not a good parent thing to do to go to that scorched earth and salt the fields. The giant red flag here is her not wanting to cut off AP and to do it in front of you. You're smart. It will not stop, especially since she had the gall to accuse you of being a controlling asshole. You're the one who cheated and imploded your family, lady. This is least she could do, and the fact that you handled it with class and grace instead of flipping your shit is very telling. That was her response. Opie, I want to wish you luck with attempting to reconcile, but I think she's going to get back into contact with him via other means. A burner phone or an app, something. Your spidey senses are probably on point.